Hello everyone, welcome back to Learning English with Kate. Do you want to sound more like a native English speaker and you want to improve your English conversational skills? Well, I'm going to teach you very common English expressions to use daily to make your English sound more natural. And I'm going to put them into context with some great conversational sentences and phrases. So here we go. So the first expression is, I'm afraid. This is when you politely want to tell someone that what you are about to tell them is going to make them upset in some way. Maybe it's going to make them sad, angry, or hurt, but you're going to tell them something that they will not like. So you begin with, I'm afraid. So for example, I'm afraid I have some bad news to tell you. So here are some expressions. I'm afraid. It's used for politely telling someone something that might make them sad, disappointed, or angry. For example, when you cannot do what they wanted you to do, or you do not agree with them. So here are some examples. I am afraid that the hotel is fully booked this weekend. We have no free rooms. The doctors are afraid that there is nothing more they can do for the patient. I'm afraid that I can't let you enter this property. It is private property. He's afraid that he can't make the meeting today. I'm afraid that the promotion is over. It ended yesterday. The table is back to the full sale price. If Mike calls and says, Hello, could I speak to Mr. Jones, please? And Kate would answer, I'm afraid he's not here right now. If you don't agree with someone in a polite way, you can tell him I'm afraid or I do not agree with you. The second expression is not really. Not really. This is when you have been asked about something and your answer is neither yes or no. So your answer is something in between. Or it can also be used to say no in a polite way. So here are some conversational points to let you know exactly how to use them. The next phrase is not really. Not really. Its meaning is neither yes nor no at the same time, or a statement meaning in between, or it can also be used for no, but in a polite way. Are you hungry yet? Not really. Are you having a good time at the party? Not really. The man is big, white, overweight, but not really fat. Striking was not really getting us anywhere. Do you want to come to the movie with us? Not really. I think I'll just stay in and read. But you quite enjoy your job, don't you? Not really, no. I feel I could do with a change. It's not really up to me to judge that they are the best ever. The next expression is good stuff. Good stuff. This is when you either liked what someone did or you're trying to give them some positive praise or encouragement to keep going. So let's see some conversational phrases. The next phrase is good stuff. Good stuff. It is something you say to encourage or praise or congratulate someone, and you give them a pleasant feeling. So for example, I joined a gym today because I want to get in shape. Good stuff. If the news is big and great, you can say great stuff. Guess what? I had an interview today with a big company and I got hired. Great stuff. The next phrase is, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that. This doesn't mean that you're actually apologizing about something, but you're giving sympathy to that person because maybe you've heard something bad is happening in their lives and you just feel bad for them. So, I'm sorry to hear that your cat died. You feel really bad that their cat has died. So, here are some common conversational phrases. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that. In this case, sorry doesn't mean that you are apologizing. It just shows that you feel bad for the other person. For example, you can say, I got laid off from my work last week. Laid off meaning losing your job. And the other person says, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Or, my car broke down and I have to buy another one. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you have the money for it. The next expression is, give me a hand. Give me a hand. Or, I'll give you a hand. I'll give you a hand. This just means the willingness to help someone. So for example, you really want someone to help you load your bags into the car and you say, can you please lend me a hand? Can you give me a hand with these bags? Here are some conversational phrases. The next phrase is, give me a hand. Give me a hand. Or, give you a hand. Give you a hand. This is an idiom, which means it's informal, it's conversational, and makes you sound more like a native speaker. And it means to help someone with something. So for example, I hope that someone will give me a hand with these bags. There's no way I'll make it to the 5th floor on my own. No, Billy can't babysit. He's giving me a hand with my car today. The next expression is, you're kidding me. You're kidding me. The word kidding usually means joking, but in this phrase it's used a little bit differently. It's used when you don't really believe what the other person has said, or it can also be used when you are annoyed with something or angry about something that the person has told you. So here are some conversational phrases. The next phrase is, you are kidding me. You are kidding me. The word kidding means joking. You say this phrase when you are angry, annoyed, or irritated. So for example, did you hear that Sam got promoted to general manager? Are you kidding me? That guy couldn't manage his way out of a paper bag. The other example is, do you want a piece of this cake? You kidding me? Of course I do. Or, is Sally a good lawyer? Are you kidding me? She's one of the best in the whole Pacific Northwest. The next expression is fair enough. Fair enough. This is when you are accepting something as being reasonable or acceptable to you. So here are some conversational phrases. The phrase fair enough is used to admit that something is reasonable or acceptable. I can accept that. So for example, why didn't you take the job? Because the pay was too low and there are no benefits as well. Fair enough not to accept the job. Second example, I don't feel like going out tonight. I've got a bit of a headache. Fair enough. The next expression is, I couldn't care less. I couldn't care less. This is when you're really not concerned about a matter at hand, or you just really don't care about that issue. So here are some conversational phrases. The next phrase is, I couldn't care less. I couldn't care less. This means that you are not at all concerned about it. It doesn't matter to you. So for example, Tom says he couldn't care less if he gets fired. When I was hungry, I couldn't care less to eat any kind of food. I couldn't care less if he doesn't want to talk to me. The next expression is sick and tired. I am sick and tired of this situation. That is when you are upset or annoyed with a situation that maybe has gone on for a little too long and you're getting really, really tired of it. So here are some conversational phrases. The following phrase is usually said with some strong emotion. Sick and tired. Sick and tired. This means to be completely bored and perhaps upset with something that has been occurring for too long a time. So for example, I was sick and tired of wasting my time at long, pointless meetings. I am sick and tired of you acting like a child. I am sick and tired of getting snow every single day. Notice the very strong level of emotion shown with every phrase. The next three expressions all mean that you need to leave. So, I've got to get going, or I've got to run, I've got to go. All of these mean you really need to get out of there right now. So here's how to use them in conversational phrases. The following phrase is used if you need to leave. You have a requirement to leave. And you can say it any of these three following ways. I better get going. I better get going. Or, I've got to go. I've got to go. Or even, I've got to run. I've got to run. So the following examples are as follows. I have to pick up my kids from daycare. I'd better get going. I've got to go. I have a dentist appointment. I have to catch the movie. I've got to run. The next expression is thanks so much. Thanks so much. This is just simply saying thank you very much, but in a very simple way. So here are some conversational phrases to go along with that expression. Thanks so much. Thanks so much. This is a simple sentence that you can use to thank someone. To add some more detail, you can say, thanks so much for, and then you add a noun and an ing verb. So, for example, thanks so much for the birthday money, or thanks so much for driving me home. The next expression is, I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. This is used when you want to thank someone without saying the direct words thank you. So here we go with some conversational phrases. If you are really grateful or thankful for something, you can use the phrase, I really appreciate, and then you follow up with whatever it is you appreciate. So for example, thanks so much for cooking dinner. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much. I really appreciate you cooking dinner. Look, I really appreciate you helping me out with all this. The next expression is very commonly used, and that is excuse me. Excuse me. This can be used in a busy place where there are people blocking you everywhere and you are just trying to get on your way and you don't know how to ask them to move, so you have to be polite and say, excuse me, could you please move? It can also be used to get someone's attention. So if perhaps there are two people having a conversation and you don't know how to interrupt them politely, so you can just say, excuse me. Another reason you would use excuse me is when you want clarification. So for example, you didn't understand what the person has told you. So you say, excuse me? What did you say? Or perhaps you're kind of angry at something the person has told you. So for example, they tell you, wow, you've really gained some weight. And you say, excuse me? How rude. Excuse me? Here are some conversational phrases. Excuse me. Excuse me. This is a phrase used in two different situations. The first one is when you need to get through, but there is someone blocking your way. So you tell that person, "Excuse me." Or you can also say this phrase to politely get someone's attention. For example, "Excuse me, sir, you dropped your wallet." Or, "Excuse me, do you know what time it is?" To further show how polite you are, you would use the following expression: "I'm sorry." I'm sorry. It's always nice to own up to your mistakes and to actually apologize for what you have done, whether it was big or small. So here are some conversational phrases to help you out with that expression. The next phrase is, "I'm sorry." I'm sorry. You use this phrase to apologize, whether it is for something big or something small. You use "for" to give more detail. For example, "I'm sorry for being so late." "I'm sorry for the mess. I wasn't expecting anyone today." You can use "really" to show you're very sorry for something, such as in, "I'm really sorry I didn't invite you to the party." The next expression is, "What do you think?" What do you think? Or most commonly pronounced, "What do you think?" What do you think? And this is when you want to get someone's opinion about something. So here we go with those expressions. The next phrase is, "What do you think?" What do you think? This is used when you want to hear someone's opinion on a topic. So you use this question: "I'm not sure if we should paint the room yellow or blue. What do you think?" "What do you think if I book my vacation today?" "I want to buy a new car. What do you think?" The next expression is, "How does that sound?" How does that sound? This is when you have given someone an idea or an opinion about something, and now you want to know what they actually think about your opinion or idea. So you ask them, "So how does that sound?" Here are some conversational points to give you. The next phrase is, "How does that sound?" How does that sound? If you suggest an idea or plan, use this phrase to find out what others think about that plan. For example, "We could have dinner at 6 and then go to a movie. How does that sound?" Or, "Let's hire a band to play music, and Brent can photograph the event. How does that sound?" So the next expression is kind of your response if someone asks you, "How does that sound?" And you would respond by saying, "That sounds great." That sounds great. You can also replace the word great with other synonyms like awesome, fantastic, perfect, amazing. So here are some conversational points. The next phrase is, "That sounds great." That sounds great. This is used if you like an idea and you can respond to it with this phrase. Or you can say, "Great," but this can be replaced with any synonym such as awesome, perfect, excellent, or fantastic. So for example, "My mom is baking cookies this afternoon. We could go to my house and eat some. How does that sound?" That sounds fantastic. Or, "How about dinner and a movie tonight? Sounds great, doesn't it?" Of course it does. The last expression is, "Oh, never mind." Oh, never mind. This is when you want the person to forget about what you have just said, maybe because they really didn't understand you, or you notice that they don't really like what you have to say, and you want to just change the subject and go on to the next conversation. So you say, "Oh, never mind. Let's just start talking about something else." So here are some conversational points and tips on how to do that. The next phrase is, "Oh, never mind." Oh, never mind. or just never mind. Let's say someone doesn't understand an idea that you're trying to explain. If you've explained it over and over and want to stop, or you just give up, you can just say, "Oh, never mind." Now you can talk about something else. You can also use never mind to mean it doesn't matter or just forget it. In these situations, say it with a smile and positive tone though. Otherwise, when you say this phrase slowly with a falling low tone, it can mean you're bothered or upset. So for example, "Are you going to the grocery store today?" "No, I'm not. But why? Do you need something?" "Oh, never mind. It's okay. I'll go tomorrow." So I hope you guys enjoyed today's lesson. And if you did, and you start having a conversation with someone and they tell you how amazingly well your English is getting, I hope you share my channel with them so they know exactly who to go to if they also need English help. As always, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with as many people as you can. Take care.